What a journey it's been, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought it would be neat just to be able to slow down with you,
Yeah.
catch up, be able to talk a little bit about your story. And you now starting to get known in the industry. I think that big job that you did, how long ago was it? The castle. They call it the castle now in the industry. I mean, that thing was all over the place. But I think when that thing went out, people started seeing you over the last couple of years, obviously being the first regional vice president we ever had at Linear. But I think that job then just kind of blew you up in the industry. People started taking notice on all the forums, and maybe talk a little bit about that job, and and then we'll go back to the beginning after that.
About that job?
Yeah.
What do you want to know about the job?
Like that job, how did you acquire the skill set to get that job first off? Because you never did tile before. You were doing shingle before. So what did it take to be able to get that job, ultimately execute that job? Tell us a little bit about, the ins and outs about that job, because not everyone could run a job like that, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And I've never done a shingle job like that. It's bigger than the biggest shingle job I've ever done. So you got the record.
Yeah.
You got the record at Linear Roofing for the biggest shingle job ever. So just talk about it and fill us in.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun job, obviously, right? It took I think from install date to the time that we got done, it was right at about 6 weeks. So it was a consistent day in and day out being there.
Yeah.
But I mean, getting the job was there's a lot of life to that job from the time that you knock it until it gets settled by the carrier, all of the above, man. So, I mean, we could talk a lot about like, hey, what did it take to get there? But I mean, there was years of work and lessons from you, learning from other guys that, we're just here working with us.
Yeah.
That I got to, just go and knock with and learn a nugget here and there from a bunch of different people, So the job was cool though, man. I mean, I knocked it, so it was good to see. There was rumors.
A real knock.
See, there was rumors.
Yeah, that
where's
job
the cameras?
That job was out of the internet.
Rumors,
People were
man.
like, did you buy the lead? Like, because other people try to knock that house.
Tony, not just in the industry, in the organization.
Oh, in our organization.
Oh, yeah.
They were questioning.
Oh, yeah.
They were questioning the skill set of the dragon.
That it was a lead coming in.
Oh. Yeah. They thought it was handed to you.
Yeah.
Huh.
How many 7-figure leads are being thrown out there?
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't do that.
It doesn't happen.
No. How did you get it? Did you knock it a couple of times?
Yeah, I knocked it. I was with Andrew.
Okay.
It was in December. Random day in December. I know it was a Friday. We were just knocking. Me and Andrew, another VP.
Yeah.
Just taking a Friday to go.
Leading from the front, though. Another VP. 2 regional vice presidents who've earned their way up from the ground level, from project manager to team lead, who were both regional VPs, were knocking doors in December to then ultimately get you your biggest deal ever. I mean, the clues are there.
Wow, no?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Right?
That was December 2024.
Yeah.
We had just gotten back from Florida.
Okay.
From Hurricane Ian.
Oh, yeah. Right? Y'all were out there selling for Ian.
Yeah. It was a bunch of different decisions and lessons that snowballed into that.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have gone to Florida 90 days before and learned and understood tile, I would have never been able to get that job.
That's right. You weren't really doing tile at a high level at that point.
Well, we weren't really selling as VPs.
No.
For about a year and a half. As we built this thing, this. I mean, we've been through so many different stages. You called it Linear 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, Stronghouse 1.0, 2.0. You got to keep
reinventing ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So we don't get stagnant.
Yeah.
We felt it in moments.
The industry's changed. How crazy is it that we wouldn't change?
That's right.
So
that's right.
I remember the conversation well. You were in the room. It was you, me, Andrew, Kurt, Bob.
Yeah.
I think old boy Nick was there, and it ended up being where Kurt just looked at Andrew and I, and he said, "Hey, why don't y'all go sell in Florida?"
Yeah.
And at this point, we hadn't been selling for 2 years.
Yeah, y'all were running big regions.
Yeah, I mean, we were running regions of 100 plus.
70 to 100.
Yeah. I mean, it was. That was kind of the idea, right? In the industry, you get to a point where you're a VP and you land.
Yeah.
Right, and then you're just supporting and teaching.
What did we find out the traps of that were?
I mean, there's so many, right? I think everybody at the ground level, all the guys that are in the trenches, can pick that out right away.
Yeah.
Right. You might be out and you might be hitting the streets with them a little bit, but if you're not actually in the work, in the trenches doing it, and you're not getting the objections that they are, if you're not in the, I mean, we know it. The industry changes every year, every quarter. It changes in every market. So if I'm trying to teach you about this play that I learned in Dallas in 2022, and now it's
times have changed.
Yeah, now we're in Kansas in 2026. Well, that play just doesn't work, and there's so many guys that got to that point that they arrived. Yeah, that they were just leading. And I say leading because it seems like it's a destination for people to arrive, so they can stop doing the work.
That's right.
And we just
it's the downfall of many companies.
And we were getting to that point, right? We built it. We got to PE. We did it. We
$100 million in residential
4 years in a row.
Yeah. That's no joke.
it was working.
Yeah.
But Kurt always told us, right, what got us here won't get us there.
Yeah.
And there were some shifts in the industry happening, and within our team, right, some leaders were leaving, right? It wasn't always easy. And we started to think, well, what can we do?
That's right.
Right? And Kurt sat us down and tossed out the question, why don't you go sell in Florida for 90 days? Right?
Away from the family.
Away from the family.
Away from the kids.
Well, that's where it was fun, right? We even took the fam for a little bit. And we went up to Florida. We added business for 90 days. We had never worked hurricanes. We had never worked tile. Completely different thing. So it was really good, at a really good point at my career, right? To be able to, we had reached a lot of good success, man, right? With a lot of good success.
Yeah, that's right.
And it could have been easy to just,
Absolutely.
get comfortable. So it was at a good point that Kurt challenged us to do that.
Yeah.
So
and that ultimately led you to your biggest job ever. What was the total on that job? What was the earnout? Just for those that are thinking about coming in, what does a rhino
earnout?
Actually look like? Like
Yeah.
if you kill a rhino, what does it look like?
The project was over 1.2 million in gross revenue. That included, it was a big project, right? It was about 30,000 square feet, 300 squares of concrete tile being removed, a bunch of custom accessories that are all copper, right? Custom flashing, custom 11 copper turrets.
11 copper turrets.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And, most houses, if you have a castle like that, they'll have one or two, but that drove obviously the project to reach that $1 million mark, right? It was a few $100,000 of just copper alone.
Yeah.
So it was over 1.2 million in gross revenue, but the payout is great.
It was great.
Yeah. You can make a
solid.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad to start the year.
No, it's a good project.
You talked about hurricane.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
The first one.
Yeah, because you were talking about, was that Milton? You went out for Milton?
Milton, yeah.
You went out for Milton.
Yeah, no, and then Ian was the first one.
Ian was the first one.
Yeah.
Ian was before that, right?
Yeah.
Was before that time, because you and I experienced our first hurricane. We were used to selling hail for years. We were like, oh yeah, we mastered this hail game.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden we see Hurricane Ian coming, and it's projected to be a Category 5. Like we're like, this is serious.
Yeah.
And you and I jumped in our trucks, and we said we're gonna drive to Florida, and we're gonna just be a part of our first hurricane, not knowing anything about it. People don't realize that.
We shouldn't have.
We knew nothing.
Back.
We knew nothing, right? But we drive to Florida in our trucks, and I remember staying in New Smyrna Beach with you. We were in a hotel.
Yeah.
As the hurricane's eye was coming over us.
It was never supposed to get there, by the way.
No. And you were a little worried.
From the jump.
You were a little worried. When we saw the water coming in towards the hotel, we thought we were going to get, trapped.
Yeah.
But what an experience. Talk about our first hurricane together. Talk about that experience, because ultimately that led us to, as an organization, I think, really start realizing we didn't know it all, and that we had to grow and evolve and learn the specialty game. Because we didn't know the specialty game at that point. So maybe talk about that hurricane, what it did, the experience, and what it led to.
Yeah, that hurricane was what completely set off the Florida branch.
Yeah.
It took off. Those guys were working, tiny hail, little windstorms here and there, just doing anything they could to figure it out. Poor people were seeing all of us in Texas getting bombarded with 2-inch hail, and Florida's getting nothing, right? So when that hurricane hit, unfortunately for all the people that got devastated, there was a lot of work, right? Yeah. And I was there at the beginning with you, but you got to know, I had to head back home pretty quick because everybody started to shift to Florida. So I ended up staying home after we were there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you did 2 weeks there.
I was working with when there was walkie-talkies, there was no phone service. You couldn't get gas. You were driving 2-3 hours just to get gas, and then you'd be sitting in a line for 2 hours
it was
just
unreal.
to get gas. It was an unbelievable experience.
Yeah,
super humbling because you got to see complete devastation. It's not. We're in an industry that is there to help people that go through those kind of things, but it's not. You never want people to experience that. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah. And what we saw was, the Florida guys completely just take over. Brandon came out of he became the tile king, right?
Yeah.
It was a phenomenal storm to be able to help the company catapult itself and start to learn tile. But I think everybody in Texas was still on the idea that tile and specialty was a Florida thing.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's right.
That
hurricane, you're so right. Like nothing could prepare us for what we actually went through live. Like we went through a training before the hurricane. We showed up and we all met at an office and we went through hurricane prep. But nothing can really prepare you when you actually are, in a home and there was water up to here in the home and all of their assets are ruined.
Yeah.
And I remember this lady just crying that all of her stuff was lost and just the roof is just caved in. The attic was just caved into the living room and she's just crying in tears. And it makes you realize we are responders to these devastating catastrophic storms. It's not always just 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch hail that just damages the roofs. Sometimes we're dealing with tornadoes and really serious hurricanes.
Yeah.
And to see that live and to see how we all came together.
Big time. We were moving trees out of streets, out of people's homes.
Yes.
There was a lot more help going on rather than just
getting people roofs. Gas, getting people food.
Yeah.
Like you're right. We couldn't even communicate on the cells. So, the fact that we were a week or two on walkie-talkies communicating, homeowners couldn't even call their carriers to file the insurance claim. It was insane.
Yeah.
But what an experience of growth that ultimately led us to grow Florida to what it is today and get you to start thinking tile, because then you ended up bringing back the specialty game to Texas.
Yeah.
And that ultimately led to the entire organization starting to say, let's learn this specialty game.
Yeah.
So maybe talk about that transition.
Yeah. So that was Ian, right? And then we ended up going to Milton in 2024.
Yeah.
So that really started to, get our wheels spinning on the fact that, hey, these tile roofs are also in need of help, in Texas, in Colorado, in Kansas. It's not just a Florida thing.
That's
so we started to understand the tile roofing systems, how they can be compromised, how homeowners can potentially bring some value back into their home if you can, help restore the roof. And there was a lot of opportunities that we started to see in Texas. So, like we always do, it had to be leader led. I couldn't just tell people, hey, you should go try to chase some tile in Texas.
That's right.
It's a play that's never happened. We never had success with it. So what I did was just, do what we do, and we came back and we started knocking tile.
Yeah.
And that led us to knocking the big castle in December. And even at that point, we can all knock a door and we can do an inspection on a tile roof. We've all done it. And then we post about it and then it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of months of training and understanding the tile and understanding how these roofs can be compromised and how we can help homeowners out. But, one led to another, and then everybody started to see that there was some potential there, but we're still nowhere close to where we're going to be on understanding tile. We're very, very, there's a lot of companies that are well versed in tile and have done that for 10, 20 years. And it's been good to be able to see the opportunities, right? For a lot of what we've done, we've been spearheading a lot of these things, right?
Yeah.
Now we're looking around and there's there is companies that are having great success with it, and I love to see it. And we're adopting a lot of those ways and having success with it ourselves. So.
That's right. One thing I heard you say was leader-led. I think, one thing we definitely learned through the stages is if we're going to run a new play, if we're going to do something, then it's got to be led from the top.
Yeah.
And so, you RVPs made that shift. And then ultimately that allows, I feel like there's this unsaid between us leaders, cultural heartbeat of an organization.
Yeah.
Like you could feel it. There's been moments that the heartbeat hasn't been what it needed to be. There's been moments where the connectivity hasn't been where it needed to be. And I think, when the leaders start leading from the front and making sure that they're just spending quality time with their people, that heartbeat gets better and better and better. And the buy-in from the people that they're leading is stronger whenever they like, well, David's an RVP and he's selling $3 million on the year. Like, and he's got time to mentor and run trainings and you take away all their excuses.
Yeah.
Right. And then that way you can hold people to a high standard and hold them accountable. So I think those shifts were immense.
I think we've gotten to a point to where people can fake it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And they'll make a post, say that they're leader led, and they'll show up to the streets. They'll take a selfie.
Yep.
Get up on one roof and then go pick up a check, or they'll leave. They'll go do a Super Saturday breakfast.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you don't see them out in the streets doing the work, right? And I think now, especially with social media, people can see that right away and they can see through it. And a lot of people I do believe they want to get to the point where they're in leadership.
Yeah.
So they stop doing the work. So they have to stop knocking. So they have to stop working prime time. So they have to stop working Saturdays. And I mention that because, yes, we're spending time with leaders and we're spending time with people and we're developing them, but we're in the trenches driving revenue ourselves. And I think that's been probably one of the biggest driving factors that's led to keeping the culture intact.
Yes.
I am not just sitting in an office collecting a check off the work that my guys are doing.
Yep.
That's not what's happening. We are out in the streets. If there is a storm that happens that we think, hey, this is potentially a good storm for us to go help homeowners at.
Yep.
We're never saying, hey, you guys should go and
go check it out, team lead.
Tell me if it goes well.
No,
absolutely not. We are boots on the ground first. We are adding business. I'm understanding what this market is telling me. I'm understanding what these
objections that are going on.
Yeah. So it allows us to be sharp.
Yes.
And confident because I'm doing it, and it is hard work. There is sacrifice. I think at some point there was this idea that maybe you could get to that point, but then you realize, hey, what works, right?
Yeah.
And what works is doing the work, leading from the front, and not getting away from the day to day. I think what got us here won't get us there, right? And this idea of arriving to this executive position that all of a sudden you're not going to do the work, it's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. So, love it. So, you've become ultimately over the last, couple of years. I mean, you've been in the industry now. Is it 7, 8 years?
Going on 8 years, yeah.
Going on 8 years. What a rise. Nicknamed the Dragon.
Self-proclaimed.
You used to run Team Dragon, which was one of the top teams as you came up in the linear brand. Yeah. And so, now you stand as one of the industry leaders that is helping grow Stronghouse, nationally. But let's take it back to like the beginning of it all. Like, the beginning when, young David, like, how did this mentality, this type of drive, this type of fire to go be great, to not get comfortable, to continuously push yourself and want to be the best. Ultimately at one point you wanted to be the top team lead, and then you wanted to be the number one RVP, and you called Andrew out a couple times and you're like jabbing him when you would win a year. Yeah. And so take us back to young David on where it all started. And, I think you guys, you grew up in Mexico at one point, so maybe take it back from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Born in Mexico. So we came when we were young, my brother and I. My parents, they took a chance, when I was 5 years old, my brother was 8, and they decided to just pack up whatever we had to come to the United States. So You know, I always think back at that decision, and my brother and I talk about it all the time, of how crazy of a move that is. Man. My parents didn't know English, right?
Man.
So you're thinking of, you know, I'm broke. I barely have any money in the bank. I got 2 kids. They're young. I have, you know, there's some thought of what we're going to do for work, but all of this is just based on faith and trust in God that this is the right move. So thinking back at the decision is crazy to me.
Made.
I now have 2 kids and my wife, and I'm thinking, man, you know, things would have to be really, really, really south to make a decision to move to another country that I don't speak the language.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a decision that I will forever respect them for, and, you know, thank them for, because without them deciding to do that, obviously none of this is possible. But we came when we were young. My parents, you know, my dad worked at Gloria's restaurant, you know, just a Latin restaurant that, you know, he was a busboy. Man. I mean, I remember many times him coming home from work after, you know, 16, 18-hour shifts, and he takes his sock off and the skin comes off with it because it's been getting soaked in water all day, you know, and he's making pennies on the dollar. He's a dishwasher at Gloria. So, you know, there was a lot of struggle growing up, you know, humble beginnings. We were always happy. We always had enough. We had a great life. Yeah. It just was, you know, not a lot of money to go around. Yeah. So my parents would clean houses. Okay. My brother and I would go clean with them sometimes. Yeah. My dad would.
And your brother's now with us, Andreas.
Yeah. I mean, he's incredible. He's a big reason of who I am. Yeah. You know, so yeah, there was a lot, man. We had humble beginnings. We understood what it was to struggle. And we never wanted to struggle again.
So that's where some of that fire came from, is
going
through that and deciding I want to live an even better life. I want to have the opportunity to maybe give my kids things that I couldn't have.
Yeah. And also prove my parents that they were right on the move. You know, they put their life to the side fully. Yeah. And they said, let me go sacrifice with only the hope and the dream that my kids have a better future. We were never gonna, you know, that decision was always going to be made true, without a doubt.
Yeah, and you guys held true to that. Yeah, you and your brother getting them a house, I believe, a couple years in.
Yeah, a few years ago, we were able to buy them a house. So where did the fire start from? It started from, you know, the struggle, knowing what it was to struggle, never wanting to go back. Yeah, wanting to make sure that the decision they made was the right decision. Powerful. But then you still grow up and you go through struggles too. You know, I wasn't, you know, idiot growing up, you know, making every stupid decision you can. Yeah. You know, yeah. Went to juvie once here and there, right? Okay. Did some stupid things. And, you know, Andres and I, we're best friends today, but that was not the case growing up, right? We butted heads a lot, and he was the big brother that he needed to be. He was very honest. If you know Andres, you know what I'm talking about. Right, Shane? you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. But he's always going to tell you what you need to hear. You just, you know, he was phenomenal. He's one of the biggest reasons I'm here, you know. Sure. So Andreas, the struggles that he went through as a big brother.
But man, it's so amazing, y'all's story as brothers, the Soto brothers now in the industry, because you ultimately ended up, I mean, he was, I think, getting ready to play professional soccer, and then you took a fitness path where you went and, you know, you were one of the youngest vice presidents ever for a chain called Fitness Connection. Yeah. And you were doing really well there, and then you decided to come on board to roofing. So you took the plunge into roofing before your brother. So maybe talk about, you know, transitioning from the fitness industry. Maybe our first interview, if you remember how that went.
Didn't go very well.
And then ultimately how you led your success actually paid it back to your older brother.
Yeah. So the fitness industry started because, man, I didn't go off to college. I didn't like school, so I didn't go off anywhere. But I did give my parents the blessing and told them, you know what, I'll try out the community college. Yeah. I think it was there for 2 weeks. Yeah. I kept missing it. So my brother's like, hey, you can't do this, right? You can't just not go to school. You got to get a job. Yeah. So he told me to be a personal trainer. So I went in to be a personal trainer.
No way. So he told you to go
Yeah. Well, he was bodybuilding. He was doing the supplement thing. So he was in the scene. I certainly was not. I had no business training anybody. But he said, hey, you should try this. And I went in to potentially, be a personal trainer. And the fitness director then, his name's Sean Roberts. He's a great friend of mine today. He works here with us now.
Okay.
And he said, no, you're not. You have no business being a trainer. He'd be selling for me. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? But ultimately, it led to me starting in sales in the fitness industry. I was doing the personal training sales and did that for, about a year until I earned a promotion. And, that led to another promotion and, became a VP. I was 21 when I became a VP. So I was running about 10 different clubs. Yeah. It was great. I had good mentorship
experience.
Oh, it was crazy.
21.
Yeah. Yeah, I started young and I had good mentors, good people that led the way. They sales it's a skill that you can learn, right? So I learned that. I learned that it was a skill. I didn't have the skills, and I learned that you just got to put yourself in the situations. I was not ready for any promotion that I had, but by the time I got there, I figured it out. So it worked out in my favor at that point, but it ultimately led to, I think probably 80 to 100-hour weeks. We used to say we were slaves to the clock. We were there every single... every night till 9 o'clock. We were back there at 6, 7 a.m. the next morning.
In a box.
In
the same location every day.
We joked that we wouldn't see the sunlight for days because you'd get there early. You'd leave and the sun's down. It's a tough life. So then we heard of roofing, right? And it was.
How did you hear about it?
I just worked with somebody that knew.
Okay.
They worked with you guys back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the LA fitness days.
That's right. Yeah.
So
then ultimately you ended up coming in, sitting down with me with an interview. And I remember our final interview. And I remember you were just having all these questions. You're like, well, what about this? Or what about that? Or I don't know. We probably went a good hour. I don't remember. It seemed long. And I'm like, I'm tired of talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need to sell you. I know what I'm doing. And I know this is great. At the time I was making $500,000 a year just selling roofs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you don't believe me, kid, I don't know what else to tell you. You could go back into the box and keep selling personal training. I think that's what I told you.
100%. Yeah, you said some man, look, man, some people are just meant to live between four walls and make a set salary and I looked at it and said, yeah, you know what? That's me.
That's me. I'm going back into my four walls. Yeah, you did.
For about a week, and then I came back. Good little takeaway close there, right?
Little takeaway close. I was teaching you something there.
That was good. I just wanted to be sure. It seemed too good to be true, right? You get to pick your schedule. You get to make exponential income, and you get to be surrounded by good people. Yeah. That seemed far off. It just didn't seem like that was really a thing.
Most people thought when I came into roofing, I was doing something illegal.
I thought you guys were.
Yeah, everyone did.
My mentor before I came, he said, "Hey, look, you think they're driving around in Lambos, not doing some sketchy shit?"
Yeah.
And that was part of what gave me that hesitation. I'm sitting here thinking, what are they doing? You know what I mean? Like I'm busting my ass 80 hours a week. I'm doing everything that I can, and it's great money, but I'm making $100,000 a year, and these guys are posting $50,000 checks. I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah, but to find out, how neat to find out it's just real work.
Yeah,
comes down to two things, and I'll say it over and over again. It's just, are you capable, and do you actually talk to enough people? It's like, it ain't like some crazy science behind it, and you ultimately figured out that this is a game that you can master.
Yeah.
And you decided to master the game.
Yeah.
And you came in and you had, probably first month or two figuring it all out, but then you started to come out hot. I think it was like 3 or 4 months in. Yeah. You were thinking about maybe quitting. Were you ever? Did you ever have a moment? No. That was the other person that was with you.
No.
That's right. You never had one. Okay.
No, I remember what you're talking about.
Walk us through that mindset.
I'm going to say the name, you bleep it out. You have to bleep it out, man.
No. This is all flow. So,
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. This ain't getting bleeped out. No, none of it.
Stuff.
It's all raw.
That's good stuff.
But so tell me about your start in roofing and figuring it out, going from the fitness industry of being the youngest VP, and now you're ultimately learning an entire new skill set and flow and process and insurance and exactament and all these things. Like, how was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. The first couple months were, I mean, it's not easy for anybody that's starting in the industry. You know, there's no short-term gratification.
Yeah.
So that takes a second to understand, right?
Yeah.
You're knocking doors, talking to homeowners. You might even be making sales, but you're not seeing the fruits of your labor just yet.
Yeah.
So a lot of us come from an industry where you can make a sale and you get paid. You make a sale, you get paid. Here it wasn't like that. There was a lot that went into it: install, supplementation, everything, right? So you're in control of how long it might take, but not fully.
Yeah.
So that took a second to understand. And you know, today I'm still learning, and I'm going into 8 years. So it's an industry that is ever changing, it is ever evolving. So you have to be ready for changes. You have to be consistently looking for ways to learn. So yeah, I mean, at the beginning it was tough, but quickly you start to realize that there's, you know, success and failure leave clues. If you're knocking enough doors, if you're talking to enough people, probably going to make enough money, you know. And if you're not, then there's probably something that you're doing wrong with how you're pitching it, right? So I was lucky to have, you know, the mentorship from you and from all the other guys that were here doing well to understand, hey, if these guys are doing something that's working, let me go out with them. You know, let me go to this training. Let me be fully involved in the whole process and get involved with the organization so I can understand, hey, why am I not getting inspections? Why am I potentially not, you know, signing as many roofs as I want to sign every month? The numbers leave clues.
Yep.
And it's up to you to find the clues and figure out, hey, how can I maybe make my script a little bit better? How can I switch my mindset? There's a guy that is probably doing well. Let me go out with him and figure out what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they see people doing well and they want to justify why they're doing well and trying to find a negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do. That's the weak mentality.
Yeah, it's like that guy must be doing this or that, and truth is they might be.
He's
I'm not,
lucky.
Yeah, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking on how are they doing what they're doing well.
Yes.
And can I take from that? Because I might even learn what not to do.
Yes.
But I have to go into every experience trying to find something that I can learn. So I did that with everybody that was here, right? So when I started, there was people that were at Linear for 5 years before. They were selling $200,000-$300,000 in a month. They were selling $2-3 million in a year. Baffled me, right? I couldn't understand how they were doing it, so I would just go with them, and I'd take everything that I could out of them and be able to ask as many questions as I could, and then I would apply it to what I did. So took the best from a lot of different people. I have never invented anything in roofing. I've put myself in really good situations with really good people.
Yeah.
Understood that I don't know everything, and I gotta go into this as a student of the game.
Yeah. And
I gotta learn. I mean, there's new things I'm learning this year by reaching out to guys at Infinity, right? Jake McNulty, Mike Cannon, a bunch of guys, Vic. There's so many people that have been in the industry longer than I have that know way more than I know. And just because I've had some solid success doesn't mean that I know it all.
Yeah.
You know, so from the beginning, that's always been the mentality. How can I learn and put myself in situations where I can continue to be a sponge, which I think is rare because in this industry, everybody wants to be the guy.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the number one guy, the CEO, the guy that arrives. So if you can just keep yourself grounded in a student mentality.
That's right. What a great quality to have. Someone who's sold at the highest level, who's run regions of up over 100 people, is still learning every single day, every week, every time. I even said it the other day. It's like, I ran a training last week in Chicago, but I'm picking up stuff every time, even from a newbie.
Yeah.
They might say something. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to use that in the next camp.
Yeah.
So you're a constant sponge. Is there some lessons along the way, you know, one or two that stand out to you most as a leader of others in an independent sales arena, because it's a little different than the fitness side that we came from.
Yeah.
Because you are technically an employee. But in this space, you had to learn how to lead other men and women, but not forcefully. So maybe talk a little bit about that and some of the learning lessons, along the way for other leaders.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's so many. There were so many lessons that I learned from you, from Kurt, from just experience and doing this thing. But I think there's a lot of lessons, especially when you're starting out in this industry.
Yeah.
I think probably one of the biggest lessons that I learned was, and it was early, was finding a mentor and sticking by that mentor for long enough to let the compounding actually compound. That was integrated into me very early, that I understood, hey, I just need to stick by a certain person. And I stuck by you.
Yeah.
I'm sticking by Kurt. And I have mentors that there is, look, you guys are never going to do wrong by me to be able to allow that loyalty to go away. Yeah. And I think that loyalty goes both ways, right? Like if I don't do my job, right, all of a sudden the organization might not be as loyal, which I fully understand, right? Just as much as if the company completely switches the core values and the vision and completely switches the all-out vision that we have, then potentially the loyalty isn't being fulfilled on y'all's side either. Yeah. So this is a relationship that requires consistent, like, trial and error and working, but with the mentality of I am fully committed, right? I'm married and I've been with my wife over 10 years, and every year has been different. We've had hardships, and just because things are hard, I'm not looking to the side and thinking, oh, well, maybe there's a better. No, there is a commitment to the mission, a commitment to the leadership that I have. And even though things might not always go smoothly or my way, it doesn't mean that the mission or the route that we're going goes away. So I think one of the lessons has to be find a mentor and stick by them.
Okay.
That's great. In this industry, T, I mean, how many people have we seen just see a little bit of money, and all of a sudden they're mentoring? Not that there's anything wrong with taking a chance. Yeah. Right? But my lesson, what I've learned is that if you just stay at a certain place and you keep learning and you keep reinventing yourself and you keep changing and you keep growing, that is a compound effect, right? It's like with stocks. It's compound. Yep. It's compounding. All of a sudden, 5 years from now, the growth that I have in a single year might be a $1.2 million deal. If I would have left 3 years prior, when I already had success, T, and there's been $2 million years, $20 million years as a team lead, not a region, team lead. Man, I've known so many people that reach that, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, why don't I start my own thing?
I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm good.
To me, the growth stops, fully stops, right? So
it's a great lesson. We've seen so many. And there's been a few that have done okay. Yeah. But for the most part, you're right. A lot of them jumped because they didn't want to be held accountable to a high standard. They saw that we were pushing to become great in the industry, which ultimately led us to 4 years in a row, $100+ million in residential, which is not done very often in this game. So a lot of the culture that we had to push people to the greatest version of themselves, I just don't want to be told anything. I just want to go do my own thing. We saw that. Huh? Yeah, I'm 1099. I just do my own thing, right? But even then, when you had people step outside of your team where you knew it was premature, we both always came together and we said, regardless, what's the learning lesson here?
Without a doubt.
What's the learning lesson of why this person left our team? And I think that started to create shifts to where we always held ourselves personally responsible anytime someone left our organization. Yeah. Rather than, they just left, they weren't any good.
Yeah. No, I mean, every time we've looked within, we probably failed to develop them the right way, paint the right vision, support them in certain ways. I mean, we always look at how could we have done it better? Yes. Because otherwise you're at a victim mentality and you can't grow. That's exactly even right. Even if somebody did fully wrong by me, there's a percentage that I did wrong. Yep. And that's what happened.
Yes.
That's what went
that's
wrong.
what I'm dissecting.
Because I can control that.
Exactly.
I can't control anybody else.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and that takes time to understand. Because at the beginning, people leave and, they choose a different path and you're playing the blame game, right?
That's right.
And I was lucky to have guys like you and Kurt automatically just, hey, flip the mindset.
Yeah.
What can we learn? What happened?
Yeah.
Right? How could we have supported them better? How could we have painted the vision better? And that is a consistent choice to make, because it could have been easily a different choice. So I don't know. I think I don't always agree with the mentorship and the direction that I get, but I trust it.
Yeah.
And I think people always, when they don't want to do something, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be let. So I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I it's crazy to believe that somebody that's been in business for decades longer than I have doesn't know more than I do and doesn't see it from a different angle. That'd be a crazy belief to not think that. So I know that I have to humble myself when I don't agree with something and I maybe think it should be slightly different. Well, hey, we trust in the vision, trust in the leadership that's appointed to you. Man, and how many times has it happened that my idea of what I wanted a year later would have been a terrible idea? Yeah. So it's reinforces the behavior, but
and I think it's important though too, now that we're talking about it, because you talked about choosing a mentor. Your mentor is not always going to be right.
Absolutely.
They're human.
Yeah.
So understanding the relationship, I'm not married. You're married of 10 years, but there's give and take, and there's times where maybe you're on, showing up at a different level, and maybe the other person isn't. And just like in business, maybe the mentor may make a wrong move. Maybe they do make the wrong call, but knowing that you are committed to it, and to say that maybe my mentor's made the right call 90% of the time. So maybe at the 10% of the time he makes the wrong call, I'm still going to be committed to it, right? You're not castrating them for the one wrong move, which some people do, and they blow up the relationship. I think that is a huge learning lesson that we've both learned over the years. Because even for me, I can sit with you now in my role in the industry and what I've been able to do, and it's been a heck of a journey, a heck of a ride with you, right? It's been beautiful to see where we are now, to see that I feel like we're just warming up. You've heard me say it every single year. I say, I feel like we're warming up, David. It feels like we're at the inception stage of a fetus, a baby. Like and others will look at us like, oh, you guys have been killing it. And to say now, I can sit here with you and say, there's been times where you've lifted me up and inspired me to get back up and keep going. And that's a beautiful thing when you can have a relationship where it could push each other to continuously get better. Yeah. That's special. And to have that within the organization when we have so many leaders like your brother and Brandon and Andrew and Kurt and all these leaders, that maybe if one of the leaders are down and going through something with life and kids and a struggle, that us as leaders within Stronghouse don't look over at that other leader and say, oh, let's cast him off to the side. He's going through something.
Big time.
No, we lift him back up. We help him. We let him lick his wounds off, and we get him back on the boat, because ultimately we know where the boat's going. Yeah.
Man. There was some I heard the other day saying about good men make good men great men. And I think that's what you just said. It highlights probably the biggest, the best piece of what we have, and it's the people. Yeah. Right. And it's the consistent push from everybody to hold each other accountable. Yeah. And push to do better. Yeah. It could be very easy to get comfortable year after year, and that just we have never allowed that from each other. Yeah. From you and me, from my brother and me. Yeah. Andrew, Kurt. Gosh. Brandon. I mean, there is. I talked to somebody about it the other day who's an absolute killer in what they do. And I asked him, hey, how many people like you do you have around you? And man, it took him a second. And he's like, man, I think like one, maybe 1.5. And man, I know that I got dozens.
Yeah.
Of not just killers in the game, but good men.
Yeah.
That are loyal, good people.
Good character.
And they're dogs in this game.
They're dogs. That
at any given point, we can say, hey, our people need us to do this, and we go, and we go.
Yeah.
And we go grind it out 100%. If you want to go to a random-ass city across the country because it's the right place for our people to make money, and we have to lead it from the front, we look around and we're like, who's going? You, me, or us?
We're going.
We're going. Is it you? Is it me? But who's going? We're going.
You're hitting it on the head. I believe that is the cultural difference of what is going to allow the organization to go just to a level beyond what others can fathom right now. Because of that. Because we have so many leaders that are willing to go put the stake in the ground and go fight for their people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Became a father, you know, as you went through this just journey of figuring out roofing, and then, you know, you got married and became a father of 2. You got 2 beautiful girls, and, you know, so maybe talk about that, becoming a dad throughout, you know, becoming a great leader in the industry at the same time, and I think also how that correlates to being an even better leader for your people.
Yeah, man. I love being a dad.
Yeah,
it's the best thing. Do. Best thing.
Yeah.
Kurt always said you don't have 2 lives, you have 1 life, right? And it's not a business life and a personal life. It's one. Yeah. And I think I learned that really early. I was probably 23 when he told me that.
Yeah.
And I you know, just it stuck with me. If you go do a really good job and you go work your ass off at work, then you come home and you work your ass off at being a good dad.
Yeah.
And a good husband.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's so many lessons that transfer really, really well from just, you know, giving it your all in business. You should also give it your all to be a great father and great husband. So
that's right. It doesn't give you the ability to slack off. I'm giving 100 over here at work so I could be a half-assed dad, so to speak. Like, we don't.
Big time.
No, that doesn't fly.
Or the flip, right? Where, you know, I'm a dad and all of a sudden I can't do my job at the highest level.
That's right.
Because I want to spend time with my kids. And, you know, if you know me, you know I love nothing more than to spend time with my kids. But also I have a duty as a dad.
Yeah.
To do my best every single day. Yeah. That's it. My best. My best might mean 8 p.m. Might mean 6 p.m. Yeah. Might mean every Saturday for 8 months. I don't know. But my best will be done. And then I get to come home and teach them the lessons and show them the body of work.
Yes.
And still go do daddy-daughter day with Stella.
Yeah.
And we can still have a great time. And we can still make some incredible memories. So, man, there's so many lessons there. But, I mean, I think being a dad is the best thing in the world. And I'm thankful every day for it.
How has it changed your leadership in any form? Or has it? Like, you know, I got, you know, Ziva and Stella are friends. And so, you know, we did Disney together one year. And, like, I've taken so much from, like, having to walk a child through these levels of consciousness and understanding and the world. And I've taken so much from that into, you know, leading others. Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious, like, is there anything there that you find has shifted some of your style at all?
For sure. I think, you know, before I had kids, there was this, I preached a lot about, you know, discipline and doing your best, right? But there were other pillars in my life where that was lacking. It was always really strong at work. Always really strong.
Before the kids.
I mean, there was no doubt about it. The work was always, that pillar was always high.
Okay.
My faith pillar was not there, right?
Okay.
My relationship with God wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be.
Okay.
My relationship with my wife wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be.
Got it.
My health wasn't the way that it needed to be.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I became a father, I really understood that you can't hide shit, you know? Like, you might be doing a great job at work, but if you're then really unhealthy and you're preaching discipline, then I don't know, they're just, your kid's going to see that and
they're
be like, well,
watching
what about this, right? And if I tell them, hey, you can't have this to eat or that to drink, and then I'm doing it. I mean, it was just, it started to just spark you can't fake it, you know?
That's right.
If this is who you are, this is who you are. It is what it is. You're disciplined, you do your best, and then you come home and then you teach them the lesson. So, you know, Stella, and we'll talk about it all the time. If there's anything hard going on that she doesn't want to do, I say, baby, what do we do if it's hard? She says, we still do it. And she'll say it crying as we're like running a mile sometimes at 100 degrees. And
what do we do when it's hard? We still do it.
So, but I can't say that and then not do hard shit.
That's right.
So, yeah, and you know, we had a little boy that didn't make it, so we have 3 kids. So there was a lot of lessons there that, you know, I think everybody goes through tough things, and everybody's reality is their perception, right? So for me and my wife and my family, that was the absolute worst we've ever been through. Yeah. Other people have gone through worse. Yeah. And I get it, that's their reality, but for us that was the worst ever, and I could easily see how, you know, people get in funks. Yeah. You know, how people get into a hole. Yeah. They get depressed, and I could see it. Yeah. Yeah. We made the choice to not. The choice was, hey, do the hard thing. Get closer to each other. Get closer to God. Be an inspiration for other people, because other people, I lead hundreds of men. Yeah. Am I crazy to believe they're not going to go through something hard? And how am I going to show them what I did? Did I get into a hole? Did I get depressed for 90 days?
I remember that. I remember talking to you right after it. And you said, I have a choice. Yeah. Because I got other men that are going through things too. And if I choose to break right here, I'm showing everyone under me that it's just okay to break. And the way that you guys decide to come together as a couple was beautiful, man. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of lessons there.
Yeah. Yeah. As we move this thing along, what are you most excited about as, you know, going through the transition, linear to Stronghouse? Now you run one of the best regions in the entire industry with so much opportunity ahead of us, the ability to travel, license in over 45 states. What are you most excited about now as your journey continues in this industry?
Man, what I'm most excited about, and it's what you and I talk about all the time. It's not a joke. It's really how you and I feel. And it's that we're just getting started is what I'm most excited about. I'm most excited about that you, me, and all the other leaders in the organization have no bone of comfortness. We don't think like that. Yeah. And I can see that what we've been talking about is really going to come to fruition. Yeah. There is a consolidation happening in the industry. That is a fact. It is a fragmented industry. Yeah. When you have a fragmented industry and consolidation's happening, there's going to be big players that are going to end at the top of the podium.
That's right.
That is going to happen. The ones that can stay the course, can stay true to themselves, can keep the moral beliefs in the company right, the core values right, the ones that are still willing to do the work. Probably the most important one, the ones that are willing to go through change. You know what I mean?
We've been through that.
Probably that, right? There's going to be 3 companies, 2 companies at the top when this whole thing is settled. I know for a fact we're going to be there. Yes. And I see it. And I can see why. This shit's hard. Yeah. But if it's hard, we still do it. So,
if it's hard, we still do it. Yeah. And man, how real. Something that what a gift as a father to be able to say that line to your child and then turn it back on yourself with what you're going through, to take 8 brands like we've took, bring them together and go through all the change and the fire. We know why most aren't willing to do this. Yeah. Why a lot of times they just keep them all separate. And to see that we're now getting to the other side of it, how exciting does it feel?
Big time.
Because we know most others won't be willing to do what we've done.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's tough.
Most people don't like tough.
They don't like tough.
No. Not for long enough. Eventually, you know, you remember the Will Smith video?
Oh, yes.
On the treadmill.
Oh, yes. I said it to someone earlier this morning. Tell me, what is it?
No, you can describe it way better.
You tell me. You tell me. You said it.
If it's us or somebody else on the treadmill, either they're going to stop or I'm going to die trying. 100%. There's no other option. I just saw some guy that did the Backyard Ultra. Have you seen this thing?
No.
It's insane. Backyard Ultra. and you're supposed to run 4.1 miles every hour, and every hour is a lap. Okay, 4.17 miles every hour. So if you finish in under an hour, you get some time to rest.
Yeah.
This dude did 94 laps. That's 380 miles in 4 days.
No.
And, you know, there's so many lessons in that, right? Because it's the exact mentality of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He never had a goal of 94 laps. His goal was to win. Dude in second place determined how many laps we were going. But we were not going to stop until we won. And I think that mentality transfers really well to the mentality that we're so blessed to have.
Yeah.
Across the organization as leaders that, man, frankly, it doesn't matter how many laps it takes.
That's right.
We're going to land at the top.
We're all committed to that. And boy, I know Greece is calling our name.
Greece.
We're going to be in Greece one day.
No doubt.
And we're going to toast to this next run.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a legendary one. And everything that you said, man, what an inspiration to so many now. And to see you rise as a green bead coming in to our first regional, to now a partner in the organization, to now a freaking stand-up father, a leader of men at the highest level. I'm honored to call you one of my best friends.
Love you, bro. Love you, man.
And I'm excited for the journey.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thankful. I owe it all to you, Kurt, and just everything that you guys have taught me. And I tell you guys all the time. So, you know, I'm forever grateful for you guys.
And you put in the work. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.